What did I tell you guys? What did I tell you about the Sixers? What did I tell you about the Sixers? I told you this many a day ago when asked about this team and where they stood with Miami. I told you this back in February.
Let me tell you something right now, dude. The Sixers don't want the Heat. They don't want the Heat. They don't want the Heat.
They don't want the Heat, dude. They don't want the Heat. And it was proven. It was proven. I just want to say, to my co-host, Leroy Horde, who won't be on Friday, so he gets to avoid my gloating. They don't want the Heat, dude. They don't. Like, it was just one of these obvious things because they didn't have to play Joel Embiid tonight. They could have given the Heat an easy breezy win, let them keep pace, do their thing. But instead, they tried to get cute with it. Why? Because they don't want the Heat, dude. They let the Heat walk into that building tonight. They played Joel Embiid. They played James Harden. Don't boo-hoo me about Maxey. And the Heat throttled them, dude. Throttled them from start to finish. Outworked them, outshot them, outplayed them. And they thought, hey, let's get adorable with this. Let's see if we can solidify Miami in the play-in, which would have happened with a loss tonight. And it just goes to what I've been saying. And Stan Van Gundy said this time after time after time. And let me tell you something. I love Stan, especially from his Levitard appearances. I love Stan Van Gundy as head coach. One of the D Wade's rookie year. I'm a Stan guy. Build an effing wall. He's a bit of a grump when it comes to the Heat on broadcasts. Like I've kind of gotten like, all right, it's a Stan Van Gundy night. Stan Van Gundy was saying it all night. And what was he saying about the Sixers? They don't want the Heat, dude. They do not want the Heat. And so he's sitting there and he's like just pounding it over everyone's head. He's like, listen, this Heat team, if they can shoot, scary. Scary. You don't want to face that team. And especially the Sixers. Because, and they mentioned this at the end of the broadcast when they were getting smoked, that those guys, Joel Embiid, probably going to win the MVP. I mean, I would guess he is finally, so he can quit crying about that. And James Harden, so you'll have multiple MVPs on this team for them. And they have a monster pressure on them in this postseason. And they don't even know they're going to stick this team together. I mean, James Harden could up and waltz over to Houston and this whole thing, and Joel Embiid could ask out. There's a lot of pressure on that franchise. And let me tell you what pressure doesn't want.
Marcos, you want to know something about the Sixers?
Sure.
They don't want the Heat. J-Fig, you want to know something about the Sixers?
Sure.
They don't want the Heat.
Wait, but
Hey, can you get Dan Day for me?
yeah, sure, I'll go get
Can
him.
you get Dan Day for me? I just want him to know. Just a quick, if I could just ask him a question.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Dan, thanks for popping in here. Can I just ask you something?
Yes.
You want to know something about the Sixers?
What about the Sixers?
They don't want the Heat, dude.
Oh,
They don't want the Heat. You want to know something about the Sixers?
What's going on?
They don't want the Heat, dude.
Of course not.
They don't want the Heat. 560, you're on the air. What's your name?
You want to know something about the Sixers?
Yeah. What about the Sixers?
They don't want the Heat.
They don't want the Heat. They don't want the Heat. Joel Embiid don't want the Heat.
That was well played.
The Heat, dude. They don't want the Heat. And so today, you come into this game, you get a great start. K-Love going out there hitting three balls. Bam Adebayo, fantastic, putting on a good performance. He looks as comfortable offensively as he's looked in a while. Then the Heat just really took over in that second quarter. I mean, it was all of them. It was a beautiful thing. And by the way, shout out on the broadcast. They were giving it to my guy, Jim Crutchfield, Nova Southeastern. They were talking about Spo, who implemented that zone. And the Sixers bewildered. Didn't even know what to do with it. I mean, they were flummoxed, dude. Which is like every time the Heat go up against them. It's like they always have a game plan. But they're easy to figure out. And that's why they don't want the Heat, dude. That's why they don't want the Heat. It's just you could deny it. You could not think it if you want. But It's the facts. They don't want the Heat. And the third quarter comes around, and Miami is just like, it's kind of hanging around. Joel Embiid, by the way, abused Max Strus's finger, which, come on, Joel, what are you doing? Comes in there, he abuses his finger, and then Jimmy Butler gets mad because Max Strus is his friend. He says Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler are close, but Max Strus is Jimmy's new BFF, and so Jimmy just decided to go and start making all the baskets to extend this game, because it was kind of, getting a little 11-0 run. Spo calls a timeout, and then Jimmy Butler take over time, dude. Just does what he wants when he wants. Cooks Joel Embiid, his friend, and one. Cooks PJ Tucker, his friend, and one. Jimmy Butler making jumpers, and then Max Strus coming in there with a busted finger, and he's lighting it up. Lighting it up from downtown. Kyle Lowry getting in the three-point action. It was just a beautiful shooting night for Miami all around tonight. I mean, taking a look at what their final numbers were overall from this game, because it was a fantastic offensive performance tonight. Miami 18 of 39 from downtown, a cool 46%. Kyle Lowry 3 of 4, Kevin Love 2 of 6, Tyler Hero 5 of 8, and Max Strus 4 of 8. Those were your big shooters and snipers for the Miami Heat in this game. Really getting everything you would want from everybody in this team. One of these efforts, Tyler really put the ultimate dagger in the fourth quarter, where things were, they were kind of kicking around, and then Tyler here just decides to go lighten it up all over the place to cease all of it. Although I gotta say, I could have done without the end of game Duncan Robinson slander that was going on. But you don't have to say I don't know what happened to this Duncan Robinson. Boom! Like, come on, dude. Let the man live. Let him go out there in his garbage time, and get, we don't have to pile on Duncan Robinson. I found it a little unbecoming. But ultimately, look, here's where the Heat are. They were able to keep pace tonight. They still need the Nets to go 0-2. And they got to win their last two. So the Heat have to go and win tomorrow night in Washington. Then they got to win against the Magic on Easter Sunday. And they need the Nets to go and beat the Magic. I mean, they need the Magic to go beat the Nets, which did just happen. That was a recent thing that just happened. The Nets beat them right after they smoked the Heat. The Nets came back and whooped their ass. So they had that, and then we'll truly say, look, if the Sixer fan wants to get into the comments, won't you shut up, playing boy? Look, first of all, win a playoff series. That means something, okay? Get to the conference finals, all right? But second of all, if you want to get snippy with it, if you don't think that you don't want the Heat, then play the Nets hard. Play them hard then, dude. If you want to prove it to me that the Sixers want the Heat, then prove it and play all of your players against the Nets. Do it. I dare you. I dare you to prove. Because all of it was bantied about today. Like, they want to deny it. Doc Rivers wants to deny it all. And he tried to get all cutesy with, the playoffs start, it's going to be different. Is it, Doc? We saw it in the playoffs last year. You don't want the Heat, dude. You don't want the Heat. It's okay. Just admit it. It'll feel a lot better for you. I swear it will. If you want to prove otherwise, then what you have to do is you have to go out and you have to play all of your guys against Brooklyn. That is how you'll prove to me, hey, we're not scared of the Heat. But if you rest everybody on that final day and the Heat were still in line for that 6th seed, you've proven to me you didn't want the Heat, dude. You didn't want the Heat. Now, enough taunting of the Sixers. It's like child's play. In all seriousness, let's see if the Heat, who have themselves back 6 over, can put themselves in a position. I believe the Heat clinched the division today with this win. All of a sudden, we've changed the rules. That means nothing anymore. So I don't even know why we have divisions. But with this win, the Heat get themselves to 6 over. If they finish the season, they'd do 2 things. I believe they'd get to 8 over for the first time this year, and they would have a 5-game win streak for the first time this year. So getting these last 2 wins would be 2 firsts for the Heat. But I will say, like, on the realm of positivity, Kevin Love, though he got off to that hot start in the start, didn't really hit any shots since then. took 4 charges today. So Kevin Love is, laid his body on the line many a times for this Heat team and has fit in nicely with that second unit. They are not playing Cody Zeller anymore. Feel bad for Cody because Cody is, even tonight they played Haywood Highsmith as like kind of the backup big in those key spots, and Haywood was good. But, they have settled into this new starting lineup of Jimmy Bam, Gabe Vincent, Tyler, and Strus. So they basically just added more shooting to that starting lineup. And I'm curious to see, with Jimmy Bam and 3 shooters, but not a lot of size, what that is going to be like in a series against the Celtics, which is likely, most likely that's where they're heading. I mean, I would be surprised if the Nets go winless. It's not impossible, but let's just say the Heat are going to be the play-in and set themselves up for a Celtics series. Is that going to be the starting lineup they go with? I'm curious. I don't know. It has looked pretty darn good so far since moving Kevin Love to the bench and having Kevin and Kyle there and 2 guys who are veteran presences to put around you, kind of your young role players. I dig it. I think it's been a nice little adjustment from Eric Spoelstra. But let's just come away with tonight. Whatever happens, 6 seed, play-in, 7 seed, the Sixers, they don't want the Heat, dude. They do not want the Heat.